The iQOO 9 has arrived in India, and this is a phone that's targeting the OnePlus 9 RT. How? I'll talk about that, but first, let me make it clear that the iQOO 9 Indian variant is very different from the Chinese variant of the phone. There's no 8 Gen 1, there's no wireless charging, the cameras are different. Basically, it's a different phone altogether. Now that's out, let's check out the iQOO 9. So here's the iQOO 9, and as you can see, it has the matte Gorilla Glass 6 back with this pattern here signifying the BMW partnership. And there's the camera module with the gimbal camera text. The frame is aluminium, and I like the power button with the blue and this pattern. It's pretty cool. Now this design looks fine, but just to make it clear, the iQOO 9 does not have the same finish on the back as the 9 Pro. I mean, here's the 9 Pro and the 9 side by side, and the 9 Pro is definitely the better looking phone, which makes sense. Anyway, coming back to the iQOO 9, on the bottom you get the USB-C port, which like on the 9 RT is USB 2.0. Now there's no micro SD slot, no headphone jack, no IP rating, no wireless charging, but you do get stereo speakers. There's a speaker at the bottom and there's a speaker in the earpiece on the top. As for the size, this is not a huge or massive phone, which is something I like. On the front you get this AMOLED panel with the 120Hz refresh rate, and it's a nice display. I mean, it's AMOLED, so the colors, the blacks all look great. I also like the fact that this display is bright and nice, and it supports the widevine L1 license along with HDR in the Netflix app. I played some HDR shows on Netflix, and as you can see, it looks really good. So yeah, this display seems good so far. One thing to note, iQOO 9 does not have Gorilla Glass screen protection, but it does have Scotch Sensation UP glass protection. Now, I'm not sure whether Gorilla Glass is better or this is better, but at least there's some protection, so it's fine. Also, the fingerprint scanner is here in the display, and it's fast and nice. When it comes to the hardware specs, the iQOO 9's highlight is the Snapdragon 888 Plus, and you get LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. So these specs are good, and I ran some benchmark tests on the iQOO 9, and as you can see, the scores are pretty good. And when it comes to day-to-day performance, I haven't used this phone as my daily driver, but the phone feels like a high-end, responsive, fast phone, and gaming is good too. In BGMI, it supports the max graphics, Ultra HD and Ultra frame rates, and the gameplay was very good in the couple of sessions I played. Now, I obviously tested the phone for some thermal throttling issues. In the 15-minute 20-thread test, the iQOO 9 throttled to 83% of its max performance, which is good, but I wanted to put some stress on the phone, so I also did a 50 threads 30 minutes test, and in this test the phone did throttle a bit, but it was fine at 71%. I also did an extreme 1 hour 100 threads test, and the iQOO 9 here was decentish, throttling to 72% of its max performance. So it's not very good when it comes to thermal throttling, but it's not bad either. Anyway, performance apart, I like the fact that iQOO 9 comes with the latest Android 12 update on board. There's obviously FunTouch OS and all of its features and quirks, but the fact that it has Android 12 means it will get to Android 14. Yes, iQOO has confirmed 2 major Android updates and 3 years of security patches. As for the bloatware, iQOO 9 comes with a lot of iQOO apps, but when it comes to third-party apps, these are the apps pre-installed and you can uninstall them. Moving on to the cameras, here are the specs. Yes, the iQOO 9 comes with the gimbal camera system with the IMX598 primary camera. And from the photos I've taken so far, the camera seems promising. In daytime, I like that the colors in photos are mostly natural, not boosted or anything. And most photos have good details, good dynamic range. In low light, iQOO 9 almost always turns on the night mode by default with its gimbal OIS system, making sure there's no blurry photos. And the photos are almost always bright and sharp, which is very nice. Moving on to the other cameras in the iQOO 9, the ultra-wide-angle camera is kind of fine. I mean, here are a few shots from the ultra-wide-angle camera, and I think it captures shadows and highlights well, and even though it lacks the details like most ultra-wide-angle sensors, the colors are good. Now, you must have also noticed in the camera specs that the iQOO 9 has a 13-megapixel portrait sensor that also brings 2x optical zoom. But here are some 2x zoom shots from the iQOO 9, and it's not out of the world or extraordinary, but it's kind of decentish. Now, this sensor is also used in the portrait mode, but I did feel the iQOO 9 portrait shots have this unnatural color on the face. I mean, edge detection is good, but the color is a bit strange. Anyway, what I do like is the iQOO 9's front camera. I think the selfies from the phone look very good with the camera capturing good skin tone and details on the face. Now, one thing to note is that the iQOO 9's front camera only shoots till 1080p. Yeah, there's no 4K support, which is something I kind of expect in this price range. As for rear camera videos, the phone supports up to 4K 60fps video recording, and there's also the very cool gimbal system for better stabilization. Now here's a video I took from the phone while walking briskly, and the stability is very good. In fact, it does not seem like I'm walking fast, so that says a lot. And I also like the video quality. And if you like our video quality, hitting the subscribe button will make us really happy, so do that right now. Moving on to the battery and charging, the iQOO 9 has a 4350 mAh battery with the 120 watt flash charge on board. Now the battery is something I will be testing, but the 120 watt flash charger is insanely fast, as you'd expect. It takes the phone from 10 to 50% in a crazy 6 minutes, and it fully charges the phone in 18 minutes. Yeah, this is super fast. Now before I conclude things, a couple of points on the iQOO 9. The phone has 8 5G bands, which is pretty good, and the phone supports carrier aggregation, so no issues there. Coming to the conclusion now, at the time of shooting this video, I don't know the price of the iQOO 9, but I'm expecting it to be priced around 42-43k. Now, after checking out the iQOO 9, its specs, its features, it feels like iQOO has designed this phone specifically to take on the OnePlus 9 RT. I mean, in China, the iQOO 9 is a different phone altogether. The Indian version, on the other hand, is pretty similar and well matched to the OnePlus 9 RT, be it on the design, the display, cameras, or even things like the 5G bands. Now, I do like that iQOO 9 is on the latest software and it will go to Android 14. I mean, the 9 RT won't, so that's pretty good from iQOO. Also, I like that iQOO has bundled the 120 watt fast charger in the box. See, iQOO 9 or OnePlus 9 RT, which is the better phone, is something we'll only find out once we do a detailed comparison. But this looks like iQOO's strategy to replace OnePlus in this whole 40 to 50k high-end smartphone segment. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think of the iQOO 9 versus the OnePlus 9 RT. Comment down below. Also, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure to share it and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Well, that's me signing off. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Don't throw away your super old, super slow Windows laptop just yet. This laptop has bad specs.